Hi everybody, how is everyone doing today? Um, uh, it's been about 2 weeks since I made a video. I always have an intention of making about two a week, but man, I got thrown off schedule. And I might talk a little bit about it today. I was definitely kind of derailed for a week. It's a little crazy. That happens to everybody, right? Anyway, so I am going to be talking about energy strands and also portals, energy structures, how they can affect you, beings who come in who can affect you, things like that. I know that's beings who can affect you. Well, we are affected all the time by what we don't see, and we don't know it. And this is just part of being human and having a soul in a human body, or an energy body inside of a human physical body. We are sensitive to energies whether we know it or not. Definitely. Anyway, before I get started, I'm Lorina Quigley. I am a psychic medium, energy healer, teacher, spiritual mentor. I am going to start doing some Friday night lives. That's what I'm calling it, Friday night lives. Live readings on Friday evenings. That's coming up in a week or two. Haven't come up with a date yet, but fun stuff. And I do take appointments for readings, energy healing through my website. It'll be available in the link, and I do that remotely and in person here in Phoenix, Arizona. Anyway, I hope everybody is well. Let's get started. So I wanted to start today with, I have been reading this book, well, a couple of this woman's books. Her name is Maya Zahira, and I would show you the book because a lot of times I have the physical book, but this is on, I got it on Kindle Unlimited. And anyway, very, very interesting book if you want to check her stuff out. The two that I have read, well, one of them I just had to stop reading. I read a lot of it and went, okay, I've had enough. But that was the one that I couldn't take it any longer. And I'm not meaning to sound negative, truly. I'm like, okay, enough already. It's called Revealing the False Light Agenda. And she really gets into her experiences, her firsthand experiences, working with a lot of people as a Reiki master, meeting other Reiki masters, meeting some angel healers who were doing some, sounds like pretty dark deeds. Whether they were aware of what they were doing energetically, I don't know. It's her story. So I can't tell, but that's I had to stop reading it. It was too dark. I'm like, okay, I'm done. And the other one that I have read is, which is, I can't remember the lineup of books because I think she has about 5 books. This one's calling Darkness Disguised as Light. And she gets into energy portals and what are energy portals and working with people who have negative energy. She really gets into a lot of negative energy stuff. I think that's why I had to stop reading it. But if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you might find it interesting. Just to let you, give you a few things. Yeah, she talks a lot about seeing all these beings that are attached to people that are doing bad things, like sucking energy, influencing people through cords or energy strands, attachments. And she makes it sound like some of these people are even perhaps possessed by these other beings who are dark, pretending to be light beings. Now, I've seen darker beings. I have seen dark things. And when you do the kind of work I do, it happens. she had a lot of issues around this. And what I want to say about this is I have not seen this much darkness. I just haven't. I mean, sometimes you see stuff, and it can be, I'm usually not scared or afraid of that sort of things, but every once in a while you're kind of like, I hope I'm going to be okay. And then you call your friends and go, I call my friends and go, hey, I might need some clearing. Please help me out here. Because I have certainly seen that. And some people do have attachments and cords and all sorts of things that are not helping them in their life, that are bringing chaos and confusion and unhappiness and, that sort of thing. It's, yeah. Anyway, so the first thing and also I wanted to talk about this book a little bit too, which is a great book. I recommend this book, Energy Strands by Denise Linn. She's been around for a while. She's a great writer. She has a couple of oracle card decks. I really like her a lot. She's more positive, much more positive than this other person. And she talks about they both talk about what you can do about it. How to get rid of things. And we're going to go into that a little bit. Anyway, so energy portals. What are they? Energy portals are just openings from other worlds into this world so that beings, higher beings, lesser beings can come in and influence our behavior or influence our lives. You can close them. You can open them. There's a lot of esoteric knowledge, if you want to explore that, how you can do it. And also, and I want to say mirrors can be a portal. I think this is pretty well known in the kind of metaphysical realm. So if you have a mirror in your bedroom, you don't want it facing your bed while you're sleeping. You want it facing kind of away from you so it doesn't influence you. I have a scrying mirror, a black scrying mirror. It's in my bedroom, but it is completely turned away from me. And even televisions, our new televisions that, the big screens, they're black when they're turned off. Those can be a portal. You could scry from them if you wanted to. Just saying, because they're black. They are just like black mirrors. And there's something called black mirror scrying, which is, I have it's obsidian, and it's for scrying, so you can see things through that, and they are portals. Ouija boards or spirit boards are portals where you're opening energy for spirits to come through, so you're welcoming spirits. So that can be a good experience, it can be a bad experience, and if you find that you have portals, and trees can be a portal. There can be portals in mountainsides. In nature, they can exist almost everywhere. But I don't want you to become afraid from like, oh no, portals are everywhere. They are. There's a lot of them. There's probably a lot in Sedona. I'm just guessing because there's a lot of energetic hot spots there. And that's what a portal would be. Places where beings can come in and out. Humans can be portals. And if you think about it, when you're doing energy healing, when anyone's doing any kind of energy healing, what can happen when you're doing an energy healing is you're opening yourself up to spirit or a particular type of energy. Like if you're doing Reiki, you're opening yourself up to that universal Reiki energy, and you're bringing it through. You become a conduit of that energy. So in a sense, you become a portal. So people can be portals. That's kind of what channeling is too, or trance healing. You're opening yourself up for this energy, could be spirit, to come through. So you become a portal. That scares some people like that. There has to be, if you're going to do that, there's a lot of trust involved that you're going to be okay and that you know how to manage those energies. And that's why most people who do this kind of work, they say a prayer, they call in source or spirit or the divine, God, whatever you want to call for for God. Sometimes I say source, spirit, God, goddess, all that is, because everyone has their own name for what that is. So you bring that energy in, because that's the highest energy. You bring that in, and through you, you invite it to come through you. Also, the archangels, you bring in the archangels and you ask them to help you. You can ask Archangel Michael, who's the protector, to come in and assist you for clearing up a space. And if you need, because homes can be portals, objects can be portals. Oh, that's a big one. So sometimes when you buy stuff at the antique store, you want to be careful what you're buying and bringing into your home, or antique jewelry. There can be stuff inside of that, or a connection to a spirit. That's something that, and then you're bringing it home and you're bringing it into your home. So if you have problems with this sort of thing, then you might want to call in a professional who does house clearings, just to assist you with that, to shut some of those portals down and move that energy. Yeah. So mirrors, objects, and I have to say, you sometimes when people give you objects, excuse me. I've had a few people give me objects that at some point I went, oh man, that woman has, it's mostly women, who gave me an object that I know it's connected to her because, okay, I know this sounds crazy. I have this object. And in this object, she has a connection to it. She's had it in her home. She's doing, I want to say witchcraft, more occult stuff with those objects. And then she gives it to you as a gift, and then you put it in your home. Well, that makes it really easy for her to connect to you, so that she can come in and check out and see what you're doing or somehow influence you. Now, this can happen. And I did meet a woman once who, many years ago, this was at a Rising Phoenix church. She worked with a yoga teacher who had really bad intentions, and who used some occult stuff, curses. I don't know if that's the right word, but was attaching his energy to he gave her an object. It was a necklace. Very nice necklace. She showed it to me. He attached part of some energy strands into her energy body so that he could manipulate her from wherever he was. And this was to the point where it was driving her kind of mad. It was driving her nuts, and she was desperate and she didn't know what to do. And I was asking her, I said, do you have an object that he gave you? And she said yes, and she showed it to me, and I said, oh, you need to take that and destroy it and bury it. And she was like, oh, no, I can't do that. She couldn't give up the object because the object, sort of like a Horcrux in Harry Potter, but not really, but sort of. That object had such a strong connection to him, which had a connection to her. She couldn't give it up. I'm like, the only way that you're going to end this is to get rid of the object. And I can't remember what ended up happening, but it needed to be like hit with a hammer and then buried into the ground in some remote area. Like, just get rid of it completely. It will help break this connection that this guy has on you. And it was bad. She was going it was destabilizing her emotionally and getting worse and worse and worse. So people can do these things, especially people who have a lot of occult knowledge and know how to use it, and are using it for bad purposes so that they can have more power. It's not good. Yeah. Anyway, and I can't remember what happened with that. I know she didn't give it to me, but I think she had a daughter who knew what was going on too, and she's like, yeah, this is really happening. And this can happen quite easily. Yeah. Power mongers. There's all types. Anyway, so an energy strand. So we're going into energy strands. So people can connect with you through your chakras. Because chakras can be portals in a sense, where there is energy that can be accessed through those portals. So you can clear them out so that there's no connection to other things. It's quite easy. And what you can do, if you feel like you have some attachments from somebody else, or just from your past, from things that kind of haunt you from your past, this sort of thing, what you can do is you can disconnect from them with a pendulum. See, here's a pendulum. I do, sometimes I go through phases where I do a lot of pendulum work. This one is copper. And so what you can do is you can go through each chakra and clear them. And it's really simple. So you neutralize yourself by going clear, going in a counterclockwise direction. You say clear and neutralize. So you're getting clear to work, and you can feel the energy moving, getting out of the way to start to work. And then you go through each chakra. You can go through each chakra to see what's there and clear each chakra. Pendulum work is really easy. There are a lot of books on it. And it's one of the easiest ways to actually remove energy. You can also use to remove some of those attachments and cords. Selenite. This is selenite. The selenite point. It's not, you can also buy selenite wands. I do not have a selenite, or I'm sorry, it's more like a selenite wand. A selenite knife, which actually looks like it has a blade, and you can go, okay, energetically, I see a cord here. So I'm going to pull this cord out, and I'm going to cut it with the knife. And you can go through all the places that you see these energy points that might have attachments or energy cords that are negative or no longer serving you. It's very, very easy. Yeah, I'm just reading some of my notes here. Yeah, so watch out what people give to you. If people give you objects, watch out. Because this one woman who gave me something, it was black obsidian crystal. It was a black obsidian ball that it was gold obsidian, so it had that reflective surface. So it almost looked like there was an eye looking at you on this crystal ball, the black obsidian crystal ball. It was very interesting. So you have to really be careful of that. So what can be cords? So when you're looking for cords, you can actually stop and scan yourself to see if you have any cords, but you have to go into a meditative state and maybe do some breath work, go into a meditative state and look down through your energetic body and see what you can see, and see if you can see any cords or attachments. So what are signs that you have some cords? Chronic exhaustion is one of the signs of having attachments or cords. And sometimes you can get these from just random walking around, and there's a similar resonance between you and someone else, and something happens and you suddenly get that connection and you take it home with you. So chronic exhaustion can be one, and that's that you have some cords that are not serving you. Patterns of behavior that do not belong to you. It's like, wow, why am I acting that way? That's so unusual. I don't usually do that. Random unwanted thoughts like, why am I thinking like that? That's bizarre. You could be actually, and you could be picking that up from somebody else, like in your immediate surroundings. You don't even know that that's coming from this other guy who's standing over there. Or you brought something home. And unwanted thoughts, unusual emotions. If you're a little more emotional than usual, that could be one too. Obsessive thoughts or sympathy pains. I bet a lot of empaths will absolutely relate to this. Sympathy pains. If you're feeling someone else's pain, well, you're probably an empath, but you might have connected unconsciously with somebody and brought them home with you, brought those cords home with you. That can happen. So you have to just check yourself quite often. If you do energy healing or psychic work where you're kind of diving into somebody's energy field, you may take some of those things home with you. It's quite easy to do, easier than I wished it were. But that's the nature of having an energy body and being sensitive. Even if you're not sensitive, this might happen, and you just don't know that it's happened. So what you can do, you can scan your body, you can do pendulum work, you can imagine cutting the cords with a selenite knife, or this works too, like just uncutting it. You can pull things out. You can pull things out and and just like energetically do energy work, like pull things and put it into the ground. You can call on your angels. You can call Archangel Michael to help you with these things. With these things, you can ask your spirit guide, your main guardian angel. You can ask them to help you. They will help you. They will help you. Let's see. Do I have anything else to say about all of this stuff? You know, going back to this woman's book, Maya Zahira. Her books, I mean, those books are warning books. Let me just look at those titles again. The Dark Agenda. One of them's Darkness Disguised as Light, and Revealing the False Light Agenda. They're both very, very dark. And I had to stop reading that first one because it was so dark that. And the main point that I wanted to make about that is I have never seen as much dark as what she talks about. Now, yes, there's darkness out there, but you can bring in the light. You can bring in the light. And that's the point I wanted to make, is just, yes, there's the light, there's the dark. But it really makes me ponder, how much is she really seeing? How much is imagined? What is real? And is that her imagination? I mean, really, truly. And this is coming from me, a person who sees things. I've seen beings. I've seen beautiful beings, like stunning beings standing in front of me with my eyes open, more than once. I've seen portals open up and beings walk out. So I've seen a lot of things. And I've seen dark beings, but I have never seen as much as what this woman has seen that is dark. And so I just wanted to say, be careful of it's part of the work. And so be careful when you enter into this realm, knowing you have to know that you're going to see things. It's part of the work. Any energy work, this is part of the work. So you have to be able to handle this kind of stuff. And I also tell people, sometimes you want to do energy work or psychic work, actually do Tai Chi, Qigong, martial arts, because that is, at some point, eventually those practices go into working with energy in a really deep and focused way where you can handle that kind of energy and feel a lot of strength. Now, lately, I have been working with a lot of angelic energy. Because I think what I've decided after all these years, I think some of the beings that I've seen are angels. So that's putting it out there, because I usually don't talk about who they are, these beings that I've seen, because I haven't really known. But calling in the angels and working a lot with the angels in a much deeper way has given me a strength that I have not known before in the past. So hey, work with angels. They're amazing. There is a power there working with angels that I think that it's harder to have when you are human. Because we can get lost in the minutia and the chaos and all the energy, because there's a lot of energy around us, and especially now there's a lot of energy. Yeah, I mean, we can get stuck in stuff. And even about a week ago, I worked at a store doing readings one day, and a lot of stuff has happened at this store. It's a metaphysical store. And at some point, I got the weirdest feeling working in this place, and it kept feeling like this dark energy wanted to come into the store. I was sitting by the window, and this dark kind of violent energy was trying to come in. And this was towards the end of the day, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. I want to get out of here. So I finally left. I got home, and there's just some funk in that store. By the time I got home, I was absolutely exhausted, and I should not have been that tired. See what it says when you get cords and attachments? Chronic exhaustion. I was exhausted. And it continued for about a week. And I was doing all sorts of work trying to get rid of this energy. But I picked up some funk at this place. And I'm very aware of this kind of stuff, but I didn't realize somehow some of that energy had gotten into my energy field and threw me off for about a week. So, hey, you just never know. So I'm better now. But it took about a week, about a week. And it was getting better little by little. And I was working with the angels and doing all sorts of things. And in some of that, I was having amazing experiences too, working with angels. I have a Tuesday night circle. We worked with some angels that night. It was absolutely phenomenal, the strength and the power. But my body was still like, whoa, something is still going on here that I haven't completely cleared out from this, from working at this place. So you have to be careful and be aware. Use discernment. You know, at the end of the day, I realized I probably should not have ever said I would do that. And some other stores are wonderful around here, but this one, not so good. And I'm not going to name it. Anyway, you know, how do we protect ourselves energetically? Meditate, do breath work, work with your guides, work with Source, with God, with Spirit. There are many ways to protect yourself, but sometimes we get caught off guard. So just do stuff to protect yourself. You know, I do have, a lot of times I work with black tourmaline too to help move energy. It's a really great way to send negative energy back into the earth. Just holding on to, I have one right here. Oh, here's a small one. Yeah, here's a small one. So you can just hold on to it and just send that negative energy. This is a piece of the earth, so it will go into the earth. As you ask, say thank you, and then ask that negative energy go into the earth. Super simple. It really does work. I used to bring a lot of these to class, and we would work with getting rid of negative energy before we started doing any work. It's a really great little tool. Black tourmaline. It can be any shape and size. Anyway, so that's my little story. Take good care of yourself. Yeah, and there's a lot of energy going on right now that's in the air, that there's so much chaos in the air that it can really disrupt you energetically. So just get outside, go have fun, let the sun shine on your face, listen to the breeze rustling through the trees, go stare at the night sky. All of these things will help ground you. Look at beautiful things, beautiful things. One of the healthiest things that you can do as a practice of just admiring beauty, because that opens you up and lets go of tension. And it's so simple. Anyway, that's it. Hopefully you watched all the way to the end to hear this part. It's a crazy time. So we have help. Ask for help. Stay grounded. Use discernment. And use your clearing tools. Anyway, that's it. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the closet. Oh my God. Please leave them in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you, everyone. Bye.